specialist who's been with us maybe 6 months, 7 months, Dr. Audrey Paca Lopez. All right. And then we have the person who's been really holding it up throughout the years. She's a little shy behind the scenes, but we're like, come on, come on. And so we have Mrs. Catherine Snow, our ASE. Very good. Okay, so probably the quickest way to do this is, why don't we start with the virtual people, and just quickly, just a few seconds. I don't know how you want to do it. Introduce yourselves. Just the basic information so that we know who, or we're reminded, or we know who you are.
We'll go ahead and start with Dr. Jindra, Dr. Susan Jindra. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hear you.
Hi. So I'm Dr. Susan Jindra. I coordinate the admin and master's program here at Cal State. And I teach one of the courses, the finance course. I really enjoy being part of the adjunct piece or affiliates for the doctorate program. And I wish I could join you today, but my back is too sore for me to move too far. So maybe next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and have Dr. Doris Wilson, please share. Oh, one more time without move, if you could take mute off. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm wishing I was there to enjoy lunch with you. It looks good compared to a peanut butter sandwich I had. And I'm just happy to be with you, and I'm happy to be a member of the affiliate faculty for the doctorate program. I've been with it since its inception, and I'm teaching philosophies of leadership and working with Dr. Jindra this fall term. Fall semester in the administrative program. So welcome to each of you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wilson. And let's see, we have Dr. Quentin DeMiller. If you could please introduce yourself.
Sure, thank you. So I'm Quentin DeMiller. I completed the EDD program in spring of 2019, and right now I'm serving as dean for 2 areas at Norco College for social and behavioral sciences and for arts and humanities. And Dr. Jim, I've been thinking of you because I'm knee deep in budget codes at the moment. So it's nice to be there. I wanted to be there in person, but I have 8 hours of meetings today, so I'm kind of sequestered in my office today. But thank you.
Thank you very much. And then can we also have Gina introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Gina, and I'm a student in the doctor program, cohort 14. And I'm coming to you from our beautiful Palm Desert campus from the Student Success Studio, our tutoring center out at Palm Desert campus.
Thank you. And we have Dr. Rebecca Perez.
I'm Dr. Rebecca Perez. I'm currently a program administrator at Baldwin Park Unified, and I graduated a year ago, so in December 2020. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. We also have one of our faculty members, Dr. Vipin Gupta.
So I joined this wonderful group this spring as a core faculty member in the doctoral program, but I am the full professor and co-director for the Center for Global Management at the J.K.H. Brown College of Business and Public Administration. I do work on cross-cultural leadership, strategy, and international management.
Thank you very much. We also have Dr. Mina Blasey. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Mina Blasey. I am part of cohort 10, and I am now the proud director of research, learning, and data at the Beaumont Unified School District. And I wish I could be there, but I'm really knee deep in writing district plans and correlating that with funding. Lots of work.
Good stuff. Dr. Cynthia Spence.
Hi, hello, I'm a cohort 2 graduate. I'm a full-time tenured English faculty at Imperial Valley College. I also adjunct at College of the Desert, and I'm attending an event in Los Angeles today, so I couldn't be there with you.
Thank you for introducing yourself. We also have Dr. Stanley Schwartz. Dr. Schwartz, would you like to say hello? Or Dr. Nancy Acevedo?
Hi, everyone. I am Nancy Acevedo Gil. I'm at Associate Professor in Education Leadership and Technology, working full-time with the Doctoral Studies program. So I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to see you all present as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. Now we'll go ahead and transition around to this team over here. I want to segue to Angelica. If you could introduce yourself. Sorry. Apologies. Up front, everybody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Angelica Agudo, and this is my first semester in the doctoral program.
And Mary.
Hello out there in virtual land. Good morning to all of you. I'm Dr. Mary McAllister Parsons. I was part of cohort 10 and graduated in Lake Clinton in the spring of 2019. I am very proud to be here. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and segue to this table over here. This one right here.
Okay.
Oops.
I'm Carmen Beck, Dr. Carmen Beck. I am an adjunct here, and I work in the leadership program with Dr. Jindra. She's popular today. So I teach the classes that are to prepare students to take the new administrator's assessment, which is a CALI-PA, and I'm newly an affiliate for this program. So happy to be here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Diana Escalante. I just transitioned about a year ago out of the K-12 system as a school principal. I'm at the county office of San Bernardino. I'm a curriculum coordinator, and as of this semester, I'm a lecturer here as well for the credentialing program. So, and then being part of this was a pretty amazing experience as well. So thank you.
And then I'm going to ask the group back here if you could please stand for our.
Good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Lasisi Ed.D. I am the interim chair of Teacher Education and Foundations, and I'm also the professor in Teacher Education Department, and I also teach in our EDD program.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Romana Casas-Huitila, and I graduated with the amazing group from cohort 10. And I currently serve as our Director of Staff Development Center here at Cal State San Bernardino. And today I'm wearing 2 hats. I'm also serving as our Interim Director of Talent Acquisition. I'm really excited to work with you.
Congratulations. Dr. Jenna.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenna Cortez-Aguirre, and I graduated in spring of 19, cohort 10. I am the Director of Academic Budget and Planning here at California State University, San Bernardino.
Folks, a lot of folks here are the ones who make it happen on our campus, and I'm sure all you all make it happen on your institution. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so I don't want to go too deep into this because it's in the emails, but I just want to remind us a little bit of the role of this and the function we're supposed to be at. Okay, so I kind of alluded to it earlier, but our program is not supposed to be set up in its own autonomous momentum, that we're supposed to always be in conversation with our community partners so that we stay current. And it's sort of like a circular causation where one affects the other and back, and it's a back and forth. And so we want to provide that ongoing collaboration between and so forth. And so you all help us by providing guidance and feedback, and also applicability. Like for example, yeah, I was a school teacher, but 30 years ago, right? So I'm not necessarily in the same, I can't just walk into a classroom and take over like the old days, right? Like I'm not current, and so forth. So, so we need to collaborate with you because you're gonna provide support for us. But at the same time, you all are advocating, and if you guys could find people out there, sort of like a talent acquisition, you see people out there with talent, help us acquire those folks so we can bring them in like that. And then we want you all to serve as, when possible, third readers on dissertation committees. Okay, so right before Dr. Baca started, we started the momentum, and then now that she's here, we spent a lot of time. We've done so much in this last year and a half. It's like incredible, but it's on our to-do list. We're gonna finally get to the point. Those profiles that you all submitted, we're gonna get to that. That's gonna be made available to students. So at some point, students have the option to say, okay, I'm looking for a third member of my committee, and then they'll reach out to you all if they decide they want to do that. And then the last one is we want to create laboratories of practice. And Dr. Brown-Welty can expound on this. But the idea is our program is supposed to be an applied, the application. It's not just textbook, it's not just research, but it's real world application. And so it'd be helpful for us to have partnerships with you all so that we can create what they call these laboratories of practice, and Dr. Brown will expound on that.
Yeah. And then as a reminder, our microphone is right here, so for the people on our virtual session, if we can kind of direct our voices towards the microphone.
Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. I want to thank you all for being here. And we are going to have Dr. Nancy Acevedo. We're lucky to have her in our program. She has great experience in the EDD program, and she is going to talk with us today about a course that we offer that is a fieldwork course. When we converted to Q2S, this fieldwork course was added as one of the courses, and this is supposed to be sort of one of our laboratories of practice that Dr. Murillo was talking about, where our students actually come to the campuses, pre-K-12 or community college, and try to work on a project that would benefit our partners. So Dr. Acevedo has been responsible for this course, so we've asked her today to come and talk a little bit about the course and see if she can't entice you to become more involved in our fieldwork practicum laboratory of practice course. So Nancy, thank you very much for being here, and I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome, thank you. So just a brief background on the course. This will be the first time I actually teach this course. We've done something similar, and Mina and everyone from cohort 10 will understand where it comes from, where we had a special topics course and we engaged in different participatory action research projects relevant to the students and their work and their field. So based on that, it's kind of what we're trying to do again, but through this course in a more formal basis. So if any of you have ideas or systems in place for us to collaborate with you, for the students to come in and collaborate with you on a project or on an activity, in the past, what we did in that course was we had a community-based one with the Ballet Folklorico group with Dr. Jenna Aguirre, and where the students or the kids performed on campus for Dia de los Muertos, and they also then got a personalized college tour, and we engaged in activities. We worked with Mary and Mina in having their elementary school students come onto campus and getting also personalized college experience when they were here. And parent workshops, and we worked with them as the principals from their elementary schools. We worked with one of the local community colleges and doing a transfer day where they had, or transfer evening, where we brought students on campus and had an event for transfer students and future transfer students. So it just depends on the site, the need, and the interest as well, because we do want it to be collaborative, we want it to be participatory, we want it to be authentic as well, because I think that's where the powerful, that's what made it powerful, that it was authentic. And so if you have ideas or thoughts and want to collaborate with us in the spring, feel free to reach out to me and we can start planning that and thinking through that. And then based on who the students are in the course and their interests, we can hopefully develop a few projects where they'll be hands-on. They're going to implement some of the research that they've done and the readings that they've done from the literature, but also engage in action-based work where we will have a concrete outcome happen based on the course. And so I know that Mina and Quentin, I don't know who else is on the call, if you all had that experience in the course. I don't know if you all want to say anything briefly about that to add to it that might inform our current cabinet members who are present today.
Actually, I don't mind speaking. This is Dr. Mina Blasey and Dr. McAllister Parsons. I heard her in the room. The collaboration that we did with the community was amazing, and they're still talking about what we did. What I did something a little differently than Dr. McAllister Parsons. I worked with the third grade parents and their students, and we brought them to Cal State, and they had the privilege of meeting teachers at the college level, the students, and having some mini courses. And then at the same time, their parents had access to hearing about A through G requirements in English or Spanish. And the parents left with this sense of understanding of what their students needed to do before they even got to middle school. And they felt so grateful. And one parent said to me, I feel like I can go back to college. So it wasn't just an influence on the children, the parents had a different perspective as well. And they also didn't feel so afraid, especially the parents that had older children that were dreamers. So they realized that it was accessible, that they could touch it. And my superintendent at the time came too. And at the end, they received complimentary diplomas as if they graduated from the university. And I didn't know if Dr. McAllister Parsons wanted to talk about her perspective, but just bringing the parents, we bussed them, we gave them t-shirts. It was they still talk to me about it. They found me on Instagram and they tell me where their children are now and what their hopes are for their children.
Yeah, I remember we had a culminating event with our group. We took current Norco College students in vans to Cal State San Bernardino, and we had Norco College alumni who were current students at Cal State San Bernardino, and we had a dinner event, and this was, this event was just really fantastic because so many of the students in high school, when they think about community college, they're thinking, they might have a goal of going to the university. And so there's often this kind of like demoralizing effect of like, oh, I have to do this before I get to go there. And so anything that we can, I like this idea of the pipeline, the PK through 20, because anything that we can do to help students understand that, they're going to be successful and that while they're here at Norco College, they are future Cal State San Bernardino students, and they can see themselves that way and see themselves as being a part of the successful path, the successful journey that they're on. So this is really exciting. I'm excited about this, and I absolutely will be happy to be involved again.
can talk a little bit about our project.
I'm gonna ask you, Jenna, if you could move up to speak on the microphone so that our attendees on the
Yeah,
line
sure,
can hear you.
sure. So I'll talk to you a little bit about our project, my project, which was with the folklorico group that I have. We brought them to campus and they were here to perform, but they all came early and attended different events. They had a tour of the campus, and then we broke them up into groups. Our younger dancers did more of an arts and crafts kind of session, but during that session, the discussion was, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up, and you know how important college is to getting there. With our older kids, they were in a session with young women from one of the sororities on campus, and they did a panel, it was a panel presentation. The dancers were able to submit questions, and so it was sort of a free-flowing, you know, questions about going to college, what it's like, you know, all of that. And then we had a session for the parents. Interestingly, like Dr. Mina Blasey was talking about, our parents became very interested in going back to college. You know, some of them had started and then stopped for various reasons, and this whole event caused them to think differently about themselves and how they could get back to college. It was an exciting event for our students. They loved it. They had fun. And one of the parents caught me on my way back to the parking lot and said, you know, I don't think that a lot of these kids even thought about college until today, but by the end of the day, they all wanted to go to college. So I thought it was very successful.
Thank you.
So Nancy, do you have some final comments that you'd like to make?
Yeah, I just want to say this was all done, of course, originally it was done with, it was like a 2-course series where this happened, where we accessed funding from different grants on campus and the president, office of the president as well. And so I know that right now at the moment, you all as part of members of this committee and as serving as dissertations, you're providing a service. You know, this is volunteering your time essentially. So to me, this is also becomes a way of us to give back to our community, to our sites, to our leaders who are here contributing, and that it becomes this reciprocal relationship as well. So I just want to thank you all for that.
Thank you, Nancy, for giving us this update on the that program. I'd like to introduce you our next speaker. Her name is Gina Hansen, and she is currently the director of the student, not only the director, but the creator of the Student Success Center at the Palm Desert campus, and she is a student in cohort 14. I just want to give her a kudos here. She started a journal that is written, actually she took it over. It had almost died. And she came up with the idea of having a student journal. So she now is one of the editors of this student journal. So this is some of the great work that our current doctoral students are doing. She's going to talk to you today. She's kind of like in the guinea pig cohort. She, I think they call themselves that too, because she's in the cohort that was changed from Q to S. They moved to the executive model. So we've had some ironing out of some bumps along the way. And so she's going to talk to you today about kind of what the program looks like today and what her experience has been in it so far. Thank you, Jenna, for being with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Brown-Welty. I'm so pleased to be able to speak to you about my journey so far in this program, because I am so pleased with where I have found myself. I had not intended to take this route. I am a writing adjunct lecturer here, a full-time lecturer at Cal State San Bernardino. My background's in writing and creative writing. I am a writer, and I had not really intended on, I have a terminal degree, an MFA, and I hadn't really intended on going in the direction of a doctoral degree, but I'm passionate. My research passions are about the treatment of adjunct faculty across the nation and the kind of the plight of contingent academic labor. And the more I was writing and researching, the more a lot of these same ideas that were coming up in terms of educational administration. And I started to think, gosh, it would be really nice if I could learn more about how the inner workings of academia, of who's making these decisions and how this stuff is working out. And so if somebody here, Dr. Avi Rodriguez, who just graduated, her and I were talking, and she said, you know, you might look into our doctoral program, because there's a lot of discussion about just how decisions are made and leadership qualities. And so I thought, I don't know, but I went ahead and took the plunge. And I was, at first I thought, I don't know. And then I will say I had Dr. Wilson's class, and Dr. Wilson's class solidified it for me. I knew I was in the right place. And this, when we started talking about the theories of leadership, everything started to fall into place for me. And I really enjoy everything that I'm learning in this program. I have no idea where my future is going to take me in terms of what this doctorate might do for me, but the amount of what I'm learning, and I really think that my dissertation is going to make some changes. I hope. I like to believe that it will. And so Dr. Brown-Welty talked that there's been, you know, we do consider ourselves the guinea pig model, and there's been a few little growing pains here and there, but by and large, I'm shocked. And again, Dr. Wilson's here, but I'm shocked to see just how much. And we sort of do this 4-week every other. It's 8 weeks total, but we're in class every other week. The amount. I love Dr. Wilson, but the amount of reading that she assigned, wow, wow. But we were able to keep up. I learned more than I could ever imagine in such a short amount of time. And all the classes have been just really wonderful. I'm with Dr. Gindra right now, fiscal planning. I'm not in love with numbers or economics or any of that, but it's so crucial to my topic that I'm really digging in and enjoying all of this. And I just can't say enough great things about this program that I just sort of accidentally found myself in. So I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Gina, and thanks for not saying anything bad. Our next agenda item is talk to you a little bit about what's going on with our graduation rates and our graduates from last year. Last year was a challenge because of COVID, but I think overall we came through very well, and we did have a number of students who finished. So Catherine's going to share some data with you on our graduation rate from last year.
So I'll just give you the numbers that we had at fall.
A little louder.
Fall of 2020, we had 7 graduates. Spring of 2021, we had 10 graduates, and fall of 2021, we had 6 graduates. So in total, we've had nearly 120 graduates since the program started in 2007.
I have to apologize to the virtual people that my Zoom is not letting me change the speaker. I think I have too much going on. But that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Holmes Scholars Program, which is our inaugural year. And this is the AACTE Holmes Scholars Program. It's been around for quite some time, but we've never been an institution that's been associated to it. So many of our teachers on the campus have attended the AACTE meetings, but our campus is now, or our doctoral program is now the first CSU in California to sign up and offer the Holmes Scholars Program. The intent of the program is to help generate opportunities for people of racial and ethnically diverse backgrounds to become faculty. And we actually have one here with us today. We have 2 scholars that we've selected through a rigorous committee process. And our scholars are Angelica Aguro from cohort 15 and Rangel Zarate, who couldn't attend today, but he is also from cohort 14. And I'm going to ask Angelica if she could have a few things to say about our program and her experience as a home scholar as well.
Sure. Am I go?
Yes. Thank you. I know, I know.
Keep texting me, I can't hear. Okay, so thank you for having me. Those of you virtually, thank you for being here. I jotted down a few points that I just wanted to bring to your attention. So I'm sure you all know AACTE is the American Association of Colleges for Teachers for Teacher Education. And what they do is prepare individuals like myself and all of you to be better teachers if you already are in the education system, or to prepare, like I'm in the education system, but not in the certificated side. So I really need all of the help I can get. So that's what they do. Their vision is, of course, to collaborate and make the education better for all learners. That's super important to me because education should be equitable and available to all students. So the HOMES program was founded in 1991. I did the research.
Yes, you did.
For doctoral students. And their main points there, it's simple. It's leadership, support, and mentoring. So for an individual like myself, this is my first semester, like I said during my introduction. This is like brand new, right? So I need all the support, all the mentoring, and I looked at the opportunity when it was announced that Cal State San Bernardino is the first of the Cal States to be accepted into the HOMES program. So that's a big plus for us. And then I feel extremely privileged that I am one of two in the first year. So I'm just taking every opportunity that comes my way. I tell people all the time, you know, read every email, shake every hand, make that contact, because you just never know where it's gonna lead you. Thus far, I think I'm in my second course. I've already had Dr. Acevedo, who is phenomenal, and I'm now with Dr. Hannah, and it is a lot of reading. You know, the presentations are a little difficult, but but I think cohort 15 is so close, and we think we're like the best cohort, no offense. And we're just having a blast, you know, we support each other through everything. One of the other things I wanted to mention is that the HOMES program is requiring 2 to 3 year commitment, which is perfect because that's the time that we need to have that support and that the peer engagement and an advisor that I can call at any time. And everybody actually in the program has been very welcoming and willing to answer all the questions that I've had. And lastly, I just wanted to say that as a scholar, I've already participated in Washington Week, which was virtual, but it was nonetheless, it was a lot to learn. And then that led on to Day at the Capitol, was it?
Yes.
Yes, well, Day on the Hill, and where we were able to collaborate with other educators or other students in doctoral programs and make a presentation to congressional leaders. So that was super cool. It came really super fast for me because, you know, I just started the program. But next, I have the annual meeting in New Orleans, Louisiana, which we'll be attending. And I just want to say I'm really new, but they did call for proposals for like a thesis or a roundtable. And because I really feel that I'm given the opportunity to, as a home scholar, I took the chance and I submitted a proposal, probably, you know, no high hopes, but I just wanted to show that I want to make sure that there's no question as to why the choice was made. So
absolutely,
that's all I have.
But Angelica will find out in December. So I'll keep you all posted. And it's part of the process, right? It's a scary process, submitting your first proposal. So, thank you, Angelica.
So in updating our community partners about what's new, what's going on in our program, I wanted to talk a little bit about our alignment with the Carnegie Project on the Education Doctrine. First of all, I think it's important for all of you to know that we count on you to tap on people's shoulders to send them to our program, right? We see it as a real give and take. We need you to send us our students so they can come back to you doctorally prepared. So as part of that, we've always been part of the Carnegie Project on the Education Doctorate. But we've, since Enrique and I, Dr. Murillo and I have been involved in the program, we're trying to get more aligned with the standards of the Carnegie Project on the Education Doctorate. So just a little bit about what is this Carnegie Project on the Education Doctorate? In the early 2000s, Lee Schulman, who is a scholar on education, just was fighting with other people who were categorizing the EDD as a PhD light. So he was trying to figure out, he worked for the Carnegie Foundation, and he was trying to figure out how can we make an EDD a program that's unique in its own right, that really is a professional practice doctorate, that is not PhD like. So he started this consortium of more than 100 universities across the nation who are critical friends. So what does that mean? That means that we get together at a convening once or twice a year, and we talk about what we're doing in our programs that makes it a professional practice doctorate. And we share those things, and we work together on how we can become more attuned to the needs of our community partners. So Dr. Murillo talked about having laboratories of practice. That's one of the concepts in the Carnegie Project. How do we actually get our students to solve problems of practice? That's by going out into the community and becoming laboratories of practice, so we can learn how to solve problems of practice. We're trying to have the curriculum include more problems of practice as activities within classes. We have also changed our qualifying exam to be a problems of practice qualifying exam. So our students now, when they finish the core courses, they are given an examination on problems of practice that relate to the core courses that they've had. And so they have to respond, they're given a problem, and that based on what they've learned in their classes and on the literature, they have to respond to how they would solve that problem of practice. So in those ways, we are trying to be more aligned with really becoming a professional practice doctorate and not being the PhD light. We have this year at the convening, we invited our faculty because it was virtual, but we would do it also to send them to the convening sites. We want them to become involved so that they can intermingle and talk with and collaborate with other educators across the United States on how to make their courses more professional practice courses, and maybe their research. Carnegie Project dissertation in practice, they now give awards for dissertations that are unique, that don't necessarily follow the PhD model. They are problem-solving dissertations, and they're called dissertations in practice. And they give awards from nominees from across the United States on who has done a great dissertation that demonstrates how to solve a problem of practice. So it's important for you to know that we are trying to be state of the art, that we are trying to keep up with what is important in the education community, pre-K-12, pre-K-20, and that we are trying to move this doctoral program in that direction. And being part of the Carnegie Project is part of our emphasis to make this doctorate more a professional practice doctorate. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. We'll take a minute and see if anybody has any questions. No, we're good? All right. So Audrey is going to talk a little bit about our enrollment and recruitment efforts. We are recruiting for cohort 16 at this point in time. So again, we count on you all to tap people on the shoulders. You know, a lot of people don't think that they're doctoral material. I mean, sometimes you know they are, but they don't really think they are. So sometimes people need a little tap on the shoulder that says, hey, I think that you are really a good person to be in a doctoral program. So we're counting on you as our community partners to do that and send people our way. So Audrey, do you want to talk a little bit about what's going on with our recruitment efforts?
Right, yes, I will. So with our main recruiting efforts, we've started with their information sessions. And we are now recruiting for cohort 16. So our program is 16 years in. Those of us from cohort 10 are like, wow, like already? And 2, I know there's cohort 2, yes, absolutely. So we are asking that if you see an email from us and you think you might have a colleague or a friend or associate or some students that you might be working with that are interested in the doctoral program or may not even have considered it, please send them my email. Or flip the email that you receive or social media to them, because we're happy to talk with them and explain the differences between PhD and EDD. We're doing all of that. So we did update the website, so it does have a little blurb on the difference between EDD and PhD. I can forward out the PowerPoint afterwards, and you can see I'll link it in there as well. But we have the information sessions listed on our website. So that's one, you know, right front and center, edd.csusb.edu is our website. All of them are listed there, so you can actually join via Zoom from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the dates that we have listed. We've also been using something called HubSpot, which is a marketing platform. And we've done Dr. Murillo has done an email push, so if you've seen one from him with the information session dates, we'll do another round. We had one go out with like the dates for November and December. He listed those right at the top. So you'll see them coming out again. We have like 2 or 3 more before we close out for Christmas or winter vacation. But we're offering them weekly. We have 24 in total. And they're sporadically attended. We've had about, I want to say about 21 attendees so far at over like, I think 6 or 7 sessions. So we're doing all right, but again, our key is to really target students that are going to be making the changes for us in the Inland Empire. And we're not limiting, right? We're not limiting, you have to be in LA. We actually had a lot of applicants this past year from the LA area, but we do message that we're trying to do the work here in the Inland Empire. So if you're keeping an eye out for any other recruits or colleagues that you're aware of, let them know. I am also pushing via social media. And if you haven't yet connected with us via social media, please do so. If you're not my friend on LinkedIn, please be my friend on LinkedIn, and I will invite you. To our CSUSB doctoral program page. And that way you'll get to see all the beautiful updates of like home scholars announcements, and whenever students defend their dissertations, we push them out through there, as well as any other random information that might be interesting, like what's going on at San Bernardino Valley College, or basically anything in the area that is equity driven. You know, it's not overpowering, but you know, we do try to keep you informed of what's going on in our region and with our interests. So please look for those social media pushes on Facebook and LinkedIn. We're not on Instagram or Twitter. Not yet. I'll keep you posted if we do that, but questionable. Let me know. Let me know if you want us to be on there.
Do you have a tag that we could add to our emails too?
Oh, I could do that. Yes, I could do that. Let me write that down. Absolutely. Yes, Carmen, whatever you want. I've also recently, we worked together to revise the application process. And that was actually a pretty big undertaking, only because we noticed we had like 80 people start their applications this past year. So they were in our system, but we only had 30 viable candidates who completed and submitted. And the challenge was that they weren't submitting the payment to CS2 Apply. The language wasn't there, it wasn't clear. You could get everything in there, but if you didn't finish with your payment, and now it's $70 to apply. The rate has gone up since we've applied. But they do need to submit that payment. So that is messaged all over the place. And it's, we've revised the doctoral program webpage for admissions. So it outlines the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1, do the CSU apply? It links to the CSU application. Step 2, they're gonna have to complete evaluations. We revised, instead of getting a traditional letter of recommendation, they no longer have to do the hard copy of letter of recommendation. They can if they want to submit with that, but now it's more like a Google form where you can complete it with just an email send to the evaluator. And I'm hoping that that will also get us some more viable candidates, because the process shouldn't stop people. The third step is the net interview. So it's all outlined on our website page, and I can link that in here as well too. But really hoping for good things, especially with the candidates who've already been showing their interest. We have a number of people that are really doing work in the area that are saying, yes, like I am interested in your program. So it's really nice to hear that and be a part of it. And again, like I said, let me know if you have any other people that you want to throw my way. I'm happy to connect with them. And working with the grad studies office as well. So we do the information sessions, which are about an hour long. We cover the overview of the program, including the revised executive model schedule. And if you're not yet aware, I was completely surprised by that when I started working here, that the students only have to take one class at a time. That's huge, because 3 was rough. So one class at a time, every other weekend in fall and spring, but back to back in summer. So summer's gonna be fun, but we'll get you. We'll keep you safe. So yeah, we have the new executive model, and it's a little bit different. But so we're working very closely now with grad studies we'll do our information session, and then we'll send a follow-up email and link it to the grad studies is also doing independent CSU apply step by step. They have screenshot by screenshot on what to do for CSU apply. So that's going to be much more helpful for applicants as they complete. That's pretty much it. Any questions on recruitment and enrollment efforts? Yes.
Not a question, more of a comment. When I went back to school here, it was like over 20 years since I was physically back in the classroom. And what's more embarrassing is that I'm an employee here. So I thought I would know some of the steps to applying, but they're clearly separated. And so I wondered if there's an opportunity. I'm so glad to hear that you're working closely with the graduate studies, but I also wonder if there's an opportunity to somehow splash their website that when we say graduate studies, we're including the doctoral program, because it wasn't intuitive for me. I was thinking undergraduate for bachelor's, graduate for master's. Where is the doctoral office support? And then when I went to, format my dissertation and the APA guidelines, I was calling poor Catherine, and Catherine's like, well, no, that's the graduate office. And I'm like, okay. And then the writing center, is there support for doctoral students in the writing center? So I'm just thinking if there's opportunities to splash the EDD program with all of these other university services. And the last pet peeve that I have. I ordered my regalia, right? Not a cheap thing, right? No. They had packages for undergraduates. They had packages for the master's program. Then you had to go to a separate site that wasn't intuitive to order your doctoral regalia, and it never came with a little zipper pull. And so it took me 5 different calls to the bookstore, and they sold me one for $12.50. But it wasn't part of the program, the package.
Right.
So I think the more that you all are making a presence here, that the EDD is not like a side degree, that is really embedded in CSUSB, that it's not new anymore. I think that's going to give us a lot of publicity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for mentioning all of those little things. And those little things, like whatever bothered you in your program, send me an email and let me know. Because if there's something that we can fix, like that bothered me too. Not being able to say, like, that was one of my biggest challenges, like, and it's not necessarily Catherine's fault. It was more like, where's grad studies at? They were actually way across campus. Well, grad studies thankfully moved and is now in our same building on the 3rd floor. And now I just recently took a little mini tour for some cohort 14 students, walked them to the office. So it is on our same floor, literally like 100 steps away. So that's a huge, and I hope they don't move. Suppose I've heard rumors. I hope they don't move anywhere else, but that's the perfect spot for us. So I'm very happy about that. So yes, grad studies, all of those links that we were looking for as students, now we have a current students page. But if I'm missing something, so please let me know if I'm missing. I love the idea of asking grad studies to put a little blurb for EDD onto their website. So I wrote that down. But yeah, absolutely. These are just some starting points for commencement and regalia requirements, because we didn't know what we had to buy or what colors it should be. And you like my picture here?
Yes, I do.
And here's an example of the colors you can have. Don't get a different color.
This is Rebecca, so I'm online, but I would say too, they need, and I know it's a little thing about the regalia, it's not really little, but it is. They need to have examples in the bookstore like they do everything else.
Thank you.
Because even when they did their, I get it was online because it was COVID, but even when they did that presentation, they didn't have it.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of money, and it's important.
It is plenty, and that's something absolutely, they don't carry anything in stock. And I've tried, because we had a few students, we've been talking about getting some additional ones. We haven't brought that up because this happened like just before our meetings, but trying to get like 2 or 3 spare just to have in our office. So one, you can see it. I mean, I brought mine to the homecoming, but I'm thinking about leaving it in the office for fun, because you need to see it and to realize, like, and touch it and put it on, right? I love that. And Mary was like, I bought mine a year ago. I love it. You have to wear it while you're writing, okay, Angelica?
It reminds me, I did do a different talk for it, but we had a mannequin with the regalia, and he was named, I forgot what his name but it was also a kind of, this is the final of your journey, and so it was a visual representation of what we could have to look for.
Yeah.
And so we would take pictures at different events or whatever within the program, so.
Thank you.
I don't know what his name is at this moment, but I still remember him.
That's good. I know that, like, even some of our graduates, like one of the graduates from that other photo I shared, Dr. Ray Kitt, she has all 3 of her regalia in her office. She's an assistant principal at elementary school. She has them all posted on the walls, pinned up on the walls. Nice. And so her students come into her office, whether good or bad, and they get to see, like, oh, that's what you did, that's that outfit. So, but we can actually do that. I have the mannequin stand, so done. That's done too. Thank you. I just want to know, like, should I bring my regalia? Like, it's sitting in the closet. Like, why not, right?
That's where mine is at.
Yep. Okay. But just so, if I'm going to ask all of you, and I'll send it in the follow-up, if you could all take a look and poke around our website, see if there's anything that might be missing for you that you would want to see, or if you can't find it, because I would love your feedback in getting that updated. And it's still a work in process. For instance, the fellows, I can't do everything. I have to wait for someone to give me permission on the website, because they're very lock it down. But that's a good thing. But if there's anything that you see that you might want to make a suggestion for, please let me know. And I'll send this in the follow-up.
Audrey, on the website for it, because I'm trying to be able to do a really good job of tapping people on the shoulder, but I know what my program was like, obviously not the executive model. Is the executive model outlined on there?
It is in a discussion component of, like, the program plan.
Okay.
So the program plan, like, there's a description here.
Okay, I just want to be able to share that with.
But let me know if it sounds confusing to you. give me a call and let's
Okay.
talk through.
I'll look
because I
at
can
it and
change.
then I'll forward that to Holly. I've already forwarded your email to her as well, so I'm crossing your fingers, so.
Thank you.
The
Yeah,
program was up there.
we've done, in the last year and a half, 2 years, we made a lot of changes, like everything, it's all flipped upside down. It's unrecognizable for the older cohorts.
Yeah.
We hope it's for the better. So far, we're getting good feedback. We've had to make adjustments in the curriculum, the sequence of things here and there. You know, the main, I think, one of the main aspirations for us as a program is to truly be reflective of the need that's out there. So, this is a good time, this conversation, because we went through the agenda pretty quickly. And so I wanted to just come back to you all and give the advisors, maybe we could take turns and almost like a talking circle. And if anybody can just, if they want to share anything that they aspire or things that you think we should be addressing. We do want, for the immediate thing is we do want you to advertise the program so that it try to help us recruit the new cohort, right? So if you can, do that. The other thing is help us identify problems of practice. So for example, if you work at a school or something, you can, hey, come use my school. I mean, we have doctoral students who are looking for topic areas. They want to make connections. Where can they do their study? Where can they do, what they want to do? And at the same time, even if it turns out to be the dissertation, great. But even if the students get some kind of hands-on, and not just the one class that Dr. Acevedo does, but in general, we're trying to incorporate into every course some kind of hands-on real-world application. So you're not learning theories divorced of the real world, but it's connected like that. So that's the other thing. For example, I don't know, I guess before you took over with the BPLI, the Binational Parent Leadership Institute, but one of our doctoral students did her study on the Binational Parent Leadership Institute. I don't know if you read the dissertation, but it's there if you want to read it. And so there's a lot of work to be done in our community. And we want people to think of us when they think of doctoral, so let's open it up. If there's anybody from the advisory, let's start with the virtual people. And just take turns. If there's anything you wish to put forth to the group that you think we should be addressing or working on, and we'll take notes.
Hi, this is Dr. Mina Blasey. I would like to add that when someone wants to do research in the K-12 setting, I figured out the protocol from the district on my own. I now developed the protocol. So first of all, if you want to do it in the district that I'm in, I'm the one who gets to approve it. Yay.
Yay.
On that note, I don't mind if you wanted to work with me and I could help you through it and how to work, because sometimes the board of education doesn't know, the superintendent may not know, and you'll get a no because they don't understand. So I don't mind helping you with that, but I don't even mind helping you with a protocol on how to ask, because sometimes we don't know the right questions to ask. Perfect. That's all.
Very good. Okay, let's keep it going. Next.
This is Rebecca, and I speak up at this all the time. People are probably tired of hearing it. I just think I know we have the class on ADA and everything, but me being from the special education standpoint, a lot of administrators and a lot of school leaderships don't understand special education in the K through 12. I don't understand it in higher level college, to be honest with you. So I do the preschool through 22. And I really think that we need to address that with our our leadership, so that they understand what special education is and how a student gets special education and what's out there. And I don't think we address that enough. And it's legal, ethical stuff that goes along with that.
So we can switch the viewing so we can see the.
No, I can't change it. My Zoom's maxed out. I think we transferred.
Oh, is that what you were saying? Okay, got it. Okay, very good. Thank you. Next.
I can't change it. That's what I was saying is that unless I close out of Zoom, I think the transcription services or the transcription is throwing me off.
Did you try tab too?
Yeah, I can't get out of it. It's frozen.
It happens, and it's overloaded.
Yeah, I have a little too much going on.
Okay, does somebody else from the virtual want to chime in now? Anything, this is an open.
Audrey, I can give you a fix. If you log into another computer, you'll be able to.
I only brought my one computer, but I have my phone.
There is that if you're worried about it, or we all know, and maybe we'll remember, we could always log back in if you needed to restart.
I have to reboot my whole computer. So let's do like a 2-minute break. Let's reboot, and then you all can join us one more time if that's okay. So I'll try to be back up and live and log back in by. Well.
So a 10-minute break, yes? 5-minute break?
We're on the last agenda item, so. Oh, well, we're on the last agenda item, so.
Well, then let's just keep it going.
Okay.
If anybody else in the virtual want to share anything, right now is a good time.
Okay, I'll add one more thing.
Thank you so much, Dr.
I will add that it's okay to reach out to some of us and ask us if you want us to work with others. Sometimes the ask is easier than me trying to look and find it. And maybe there's somebody, I mean, I don't mind partnering with people and then giving them the amount of time I can donate to them. And then also maybe even a protocol on helping people ask. Because if there was a list of us that were willing to help and guide, I think that I was able to go out and get my own guidance and really got close to my cohort, but then there are people that don't know what they don't know, and maybe that's something to talk about or offer.
Thank you. Okay, so let's bring it back here to the people in the room. So go ahead.
So I was going to talk about that, so I'm glad that was brought up. I love how close cohort 15 is, but we are just cohort 15, so we don't have access to all of you. Well, I mean, we do if we go out and we say, hey, can you send me somebody's number and whatnot. But if maybe we can have like a partnership with those that are either almost about finished or half finished, because we can't answer each other's questions. We're definitely supportive of the questions that we have, and we try to just push through. But and I know like you all in the program are available to us, but sometimes we just
it's not the same thing as another student. Yeah. Well, we had a whole peer mentorship thing, but the you know, the COVID stuff kind of we couldn't. But we had this idea, right? Maybe Sharon or Audrey, remind me, where we're gonna commingle the cohorts, have like a dinner. We still want to do that, have a dinner, invite the cohorts, invite you all again as advisors, and just people get to know each other. Right.
Yes, Dr. Beck.
I was thinking that one thing that is possible, since I'm hearing people that are graduates that are local and they're in districts, just like we heard, that if you can compile maybe a list of the options in different districts. Some districts have their own IRB
process, and you have to do that before you can do the university process to do that, so at least you know that. So if you can compile that information for the students might help. That's one piece about that, but also for recruitment, like I was sharing that last night was my last class with one of the people, the cohorts that I've been for a year and a half. And I could easily send them an email to say, you were amazing. We're all crying, right? You're amazing. And I would love to see you continue your education. We need you. You're already equity leaders. So this is a perfect transition for you to continue. And I think that that would be great if we can have some, maybe I work with you to draft it, because I don't like to go, just
No, absolutely.
and that way we have that, and then the other thing is when any of us present at a conference, like I'm presenting at an equity conference next week, I could put a slide and a plug for that, because it's all about being equity leaders, about looking at that in the empire, and that way we can recruit that, at least put a plug. It just takes one seed. That's what happened to me. Somebody said, I think you'd be a great student. I'm like, really? And that's how it happened, right? So I think if we do things like that, we're gonna get the right people to come here and help us.
Done, thank you.
Very good, thank you.
You'll get a one-page slide that you can add into any presentation that you do.
I will do it.
And we did meet early on with that program about figuring out ways that we could create, but we never formalized the actual pipeline, but I know it's a perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, how many people there are amazing and that they would be great students. I don't know that they wanna continue school, but
Yeah, that's the thing.
not this year, but
Yeah.
maybe in 3 years,
There's a little fatigue sometimes.
To piggyback on what she just said, that was how I picked San Bernardino, other than I've got bachelor's, master's, and now doctorate from San Bernardino. But someone came out and spoke, who was previously with Dr. Schnorr, but then he left. Yes, so he came and spoke to our management group in the district that I work in, and I could connect with the story he told because I grew up in San Bernardino, so I knew what he was talking about when he talked about his work. And so I walked up to him during the break and said, send me the information, email Catherine. Next thing I know, I sat back to my seat and I had an email from her. Here's all the stuff you need to fill out, short timeline, just do it. She didn't say it like that, that's how I interpreted it. But it was because of that, other than my sister, one of them bugging me to get my doctorate. And so, but because he came and spoke to us, I thought, oh, I'll go there, maybe. And so, but it was coming to it. However, the superintendent that I work for is part of the, he probably has your job, but at Fullerton, so he's always pushing Fullerton. So me and him go like this, like, no, San Bernardino, he's no, Fullerton. And so, but he knows, and it's okay, but I think getting out like that and offering that, I forward your emails, trust me, I do. I just tell other people, here you go. Do this.
And that's the way it happens, really. There's, in education, oftentimes it just happens where we come to where we're in our position. Even for me, working on a doctorate is because it was suggested. And, but it shouldn't be happenstance, right? We want to create a culture where it's more lucid or more whatever available to us. Yeah. Anybody else from inside? Okay.
So I'm gonna stand because it makes me talk louder.
Thank you, yes.
Okay, I would be interested in, and I know that you all are already doing this, and I see it in emails, but sometimes I get, we get littered with emails. But one of my goals was to publish from my dissertation, and I had all good intentions, and then life and promotions and things like that get in the way. So I would love an opportunity to somehow have a focused message for those who want to publish from their dissertation before I forget everything that I wrote. I would also like some feedback, similar to what you did, Audrey, on the regalia. for the life of me, I want to publish I want to bind my dissertation.
Oh.
And I keep reading that stuff to the graduate office, and I went to the site, it's not intuitive, or I'm not that smart. So if you can break that down and unpack it with the regalia kind of instructions,
Yes.
that would be amazing.
Yes.
I have a problem of practice that I would love a student to help me with in my interim assignment, knowing I'm only in my interim assignment for 4 months, but I'm around if they want to do this. I want someone to look at the Great Resignation and how that's impacting Cal State San Bernardino. Currently, we have triple-digit vacancies here at the university. Pre-pandemic, no more than double digits. So the Great Resignation, if any of you aspire or that piques your interest, contact me. And Audrey has my information. And the last thing, just because I'm competitive, I said I was part of cohort 10, I misspoke. I'm actually part of cohort 9.
We just
and I'm wondering, lovely Catherine, do you have statistics on which cohort has got the highest level of completion rates? Is there one out there that's at 100%?
We do, we have it there.
Cohort 2 has 100%.
98%.
Okay.
Wow. Let's see, 13 out of 15.
It depends on how we count.
Yeah, but there's all the experience.
We're not looking amazing.
Yeah, some are larger, some are smaller, some are,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's still a good percentage.
Okay, so we need
It's not good
competitive
enough
data.
though, because we, that's one of the first things we did, Sharon and I said, okay, Catherine, help us out here. We want to know the cohorts, what does it look like? And we did all these, analysis and stuff. And it did, honestly, I didn't think it looked too good. I don't know about your opinion. I looked at it and said, and then again, without any context, just looking at it, I thought it's very low to I think we could be. And a lot of it had to do with just the way the curricular process was set up and other little things were set up. And so one major shift that we did, and I think it's beneficial, and Dr. Brown-Welty made mention to it, we changed the way the comprehensive exams are given. So we found out that not always, but in many cases, the students, they took their courses, and then once you finish the courses, you're not tethered to anything. You start floating away. Right? And then you have to work with your faculty and do an individual comps, your individual exams. And some faculty are better at helping you, some are less experienced. And so a lot of students got stuck right there. And then so one thing that we did is we started advising sessions where it was before Dr. Baca had us, but it was Catherine, Sharon, and I. We met with each and every student who had not graduated, who expressed interest. And we talked about their situation, and we gave them a remedy. Okay, here's an opportunity. You do this, this, and this. We're gonna give you a chance to finish. And so out of those, I can't remember, but a good number of them took us. And a lot of them, it was very emotional. A lot of people cried, and they kind of came to terms with it and said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And out of that, we've had, several people who are from the older cohorts who are finally finishing. We have somebody from cohort 2 who just finished.
Wow.
So, right? So where we at? We're 13 years. 13 years. But they did it. They did it, right? And we worked with them.
So here's the thing about the qualifying exam, everybody takes it at the same time. So you don't go off on your own. So all of cohort 14 are now taking the qualifying exam. So they can all advance to Campus C at the same time, so they're not kind of lost out there. And they're all together. And I think cohort 14 is gonna have a very high graduation rate.
We hope with all the changes.
So 15 is saying,
Yeah.
We also recruited a bunch of new faculty to be core instructors. So that way the students get a variety and the diversity of instructors, not just the same folks teaching over and over, which we thought, it's important to be exposed to more people. There's more people to pick from, who you want to be your first reader or your chair. So we think we're doing a bunch of good stuff, but we don't really know for sure until the graduation rates come up. So,
one last thing I want to mention, as a student, I know that, because of COVID, we're very restricted, but now that things are, becoming a little bit easier, I wish like all my classmates or my cohort could be in a situation like this that I'm in, because it kind of eases my thoughts about, okay, I think I can do this, all the doubts and stuff, and becoming more familiar with other doctoral people that are either studying it or have gone through the process. I think making the connection in person would be great help, because I will go back to my cohort and talk about how great this was and the opportunities that I had, but I think if we can do it even once per, I know per semester, but like we do quarterly basically, we can offer that to students, and where we become a little bit more comfortable around everybody. That might help too.
So about like once per semester or like once per semester, something in person?
Like a little, just meet and greet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the part I miss, being able to meet and greet. That's the part I like. Yeah.
So that is to say, I know PK-12, I can only speak from that part of the split, is we did that for the cohort behind us. So for 10, we did it for 11, 9 did it for 10, and so many of us, if you've seen Sharina Better, Dr. Sharina Betters, you know how enthusiastic and fabulous she is. We would sit next to her and she'd go, just get it done, girl. And you would, and I can hear her in my head. She would just, and then on and on. I'd be working time, and just get it done, girl. But even that, we did that so we could connect, and then I would bug Erica Tejeda, Dr. Erica Tejeda, because I had her number because she says, you're gonna get it done. I'm like, okay, and so I have her number, so I could turn around and say, get it done to her. So, but we kind of, because we had that piece, kind of what you're talking about, a mixer, we kind of connect with the cohort before us. And so that was super helpful for some of us, because we needed that.
Mary, that was organized though in within yourselves, right, among the students.
That was correct.
Because us as higher ed, we didn't do that.
You guys did not do it.
We
But
failed.
PK-12 did, because 9 did it for us.
Yeah.
So we felt obligated to do it for 11, and then I have no idea if 11 did it for 12 and so forth and so forth.
Where's 14?
But again, that's
and all we did was we just did it in between our Saturday class. We brought food because we were really nice about that, and we just, hi, come on in, and it was great, and we connected.
And it's part of the doctoral culture that's kind of off the radar. But it really is part of the doctoral culture. Yeah.
So that's exactly what it is.
No, thank you,
11,
Mary.
11 did do it for 12.
Oh, good. Thank you. That's good to know.
I just want to add to what you're saying, Kelly Brooks. I think there's that personal factor, whether it's during the pandemic or not. One of the things that when I went through my doctorate, I did have a mentor. I had a mentor that had already gone through it, but aside from the academic piece, I was working on my dissertation during the time I had started my first year as school principal, having 3 kids, going through some stuff at home. And so there was times where I would call and just say, hey, I don't think I'm gonna finish this. Like, I have life happening right now. And she's like, no. Once again, and she would hear me. And I think there is something to have some sense or some kind of mentorship, either program or someone, and I can be that for you, I can be my number, but to have that, I also had with other students that were like, girl, we need to get this done, and there's that sense of just relationship with others, because it's more than just a program. This is like it's life and something that we're working towards to for our own personal reasons. So there is something to be said about that I think is important. So I'm glad that you're speaking to that, because if it wasn't for my cohort mentor and others, I don't know if I would have finished. I would have finished, but maybe at a later time when I finish within my time frame. So
You just have a different drive and someone, you feel your hands on your back.
Yes.
Let's go.
I think with the mentorship too, I needed that. It took me a long time, and that's why I said if you need a mentor, I'm here because I get it. But it has to be outside of your chair.
Yes.
Past. Because I actually had, as a full Dr. Luke was there, and I was at Azusa actually, and she was there, and she's the one, it's because of her that I was able to finish. So, you never know, and you never know what's gonna happen later, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, just thank everybody for being with us today. We're taking lots of notes, so we're gonna continue to update our program and make it more aligned with the needs of the community. So you're a very important part of this. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.